Okay, let's look at Sam Darnold because we know his future could be at stake in Minnesota. These last two games, what did you see from Sam Darnold that you didn't see in the other games this season?
Well, first of all, we'll put it on the team as a whole. I thought Minnesota got physically dominated in both games. So that's the first issue, is and it wasn't just up front. Sometimes it was on the back end with the receivers as well. But maybe the biggest thing for me with Sam, and I kind of saw it all year long, was his struggles with pressure. Understanding when pressure is coming and having answers for that pressure. And sometimes that answer isn't even just a completion, but it's just saving some yards. There was that situation in the fourth quarter last night where they're in third and 8 or something like that. And he takes the huge sack. I mean, in that situation, you got to at least set up for a field goal. So if nothing else, throw the football away. Maybe you go for it on fourth down because you're in that situation. But there was too many times this year of him just holding and taking negative plays, and those negative plays are just hard to overcome. So that to me was probably the biggest issue that I saw. And then you have to ask yourself the question, as I know everybody is okay, if you want to keep him around, what does that look like? What kind of commitment do you have to make to him? And, in those big games, the two biggest games of the year, he didn't play very well. Are you willing to, commit to him long term, after seeing that?
All right, I'll ask you. Play GM. Would you keep Sam Darnold if the price is right?
I would say yes, I would keep him if the price is right. I think the question would be, how long do I have to keep him? And then the other factor, Dan, is I don't really know what we have in J.J. McCarthy. Like, I didn't see him in preseason. I didn't know where he was. I don't know if, the Vikings were ready to start him after that one preseason game, or if, they hadn't seen enough and Sam was the guy. So I feel like after watching them this year, they've got a good enough team that they need a guy at that position to make them competitive. Sam made them more than competitive all year long. But that to me is the question. I don't really know what you have in J.J. McCarthy. I didn't see enough in college. I didn't see enough with the Vikings to know for sure. If you feel like you have enough, then absolutely not. You go with J.J. and you move forward. But if you're not sure, I think it's hard to let a guy that did that well out of the building and you say, okay, so we saw one flaw or we saw a flaw with our team. We need to fix that flaw. But if we do, we've got this quarterback that played at a really, really high level.